Africa, a place full of magical charm of nature. It has an amazing variety of flora and fauna.
它在生物多样性这一块的特殊性和特有性是其他的大陆所没有的。
Kenya, Masai Mara's wildlife meets Nairobi's bustle. The scientific community has turned its attention here.
This kind of research is very important because once we are there in the field, we're able to identify the species which are maybe getting extinct in the world.
Population growth and rapid urbanization led biodiversity conservation and sustainable development become a thorny problem faced by scientists.
最主要让大家吃饱肚子，解决它这个粮食安全问题，我们的很简单，就是很简单。
Under the Mount Kenya, a research centre. 3 scientists are trying to provide support for resolving these problems.
How about for the public?
A grown-up person.
中非联合研究中心呢是2013年的5月份由中国科学院成立的，它是一个新的科技合作和援外的一个模式的一个整合，也是中国商务部在早期援外的这个工作基础上的一个大胆的尝试。
10 years, Sajarek departs from Kenya, starting heading towards more African countries, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Madagascar and Rwanda.
依托于我们所在的中非中心的总部，包括形成了一个覆盖东南部非洲地区的一个综合的网络体系。
In the downtown of Nairobi, which is not far from the Sajarek, a seminar on South-South cooperation is being held. More than 100 representatives from 16 African countries along the Belt and Road participate in this seminar. Wang Qingfeng releases his new book, which makes him the protagonist today.
这样通过中国和非洲国家的科学家，包括这个官员，我们进行研讨的话，对于接下来能够把中国的一些经验，能够为他们解决一些经济发展、农业发展、粮食安全，包括生态环境保护方面提出一些有力的建议。
Elizabeth Kamande is the associate researcher in Sajarek. After graduating from Wuhan Botanical Garden, she chose to return to her hometown, Nairobi.
My research activities here in JKUAT, it's all about biodiversity conservation, where we undertake different field surveys.
Fieldwork is as important as laboratory work. Elizabeth often spent the whole day in the lab. This is her daily life.
The lab is known as biodiversity conservation and utilization. All that we do here, we do research on plant conservation. Then the other samples, we start doing the identification processes using different books that have been published. Then from there, we start mounting the samples in the herbarium sheet for future reference purpose. There, we obtain the soil from different parts of Mount Kenya. We are trying to check the different nutrients in the soil,
In the corner of Sajarek, there is a newly built greenhouse. This is where Elizabeth often stays. Obviously, she enjoys this job.
The main purpose of the greenhouse is for conservation of rare, threatened and endemic species which occur in Kenyan region. I love nature, I love plants, so that's why I have to take care of them because they are my heart. Without nature, without environment, we are nothing. This research is very important in Kenya because, for example, in the study of these species, we are able to know the rare species in Kenya And also we get to know about the conservation purposes.
Unlike Elizabeth, as an agricultural researcher, Dr. Li Zhaozin has been dealing with crops.
Yeah, I do spraying one day.
长得密度确实有点高了。肯尼亚的玉米的平均产量有1.7吨每公顷，相对来说，在全球水平是很低的，它是美国和欧洲的1/4，全球水平的1/3。
Corn is Kenya's main crop, and it is the key to solving the food problem of local people. Dr. Li Zhaozin is trying to find ways to increase the average yield of corn.
I want to go that field and then
Yeah, the down one.
yeah. 我们还是有信心的，因为我们这上一季作物，无论是玉米还是我们的杂交谷子的引种的产量是不错的。
The purpose of the project is now to develop this plant here in Kenya, because you know here in Kenya we don't have this variety, so we want to develop it all over the Kenya.
This is a finger village.
And we appreciate the Chinese people for coming to Kenya to help us with some very different variety for crops in Kenya.
Kenya has excellent climate conditions. In order to develop good farming here, the moist and fertile soil is essential.
作物的一个生产的土壤，作物的这个系统的良性的一个投入产出的一个循环，其实它需要先给你一个外力，我先给你肥料，我让你的生物量长起来，我可能有更多的可返回田间的一些物质，这是需要给一定的一个投入的一个刺激的。如果说把我们这些技术应用好，得到一些政府的一些支持和农民的一些支持，平均的产量，玉米产量3吨不是一个太大的一个难度。
The growth of crops in the experimental fields is one aspect of yield assurance. To obtain more accurate crop yield data, laboratory work is absolutely necessary.
我们就是想把我们所走过的路或我们的经验引到肯尼亚来，减少他们这方面的一个弯路，能提高他们的产量，能让他们达到一个粮食的一个自给自足。
Also, this one is still coming back to do thinning.
Under the Mount Kenya,
1, 2.
the Sajarek has been here for 10 years. However, China-Africa scientific and technological cooperation and China-Africa friendship will continue for the next decade and countless decades.
我们的科学家团队把这当做一个事业去做的话，我觉得这个就是这个中心能够发展、能够持续下去，而且能够做得越来越好的一个动力。
I'm so grateful for the Chinese Academy of Sciences and my supervisors for imparting me more knowledge and skills to come and help our students here at the university. I see a brighter future ahead due to this cooperation and yeah, just see a brighter future.
你投入了，无论是劳动投入了，还是你的一些想法投入了，你去付诸于行动了，还是有很好的收获的，确实是。